Hi, my name is Kathy Martin. Welcome to Coaching and Team Building for Managers and Supervisors. I am so excited that you're here today. We've got so much to get to, but I want to do a couple of items on how we can, what the day is going to look like, what we're going to touch on, what our breaks are going to look like. And I want to let you know that this is your class, so we're also going to have a set of rules that we all agree to and what we can all be comfortable with. The most important thing today is that you're going to learn. I'm very excited about it. I believe in this information. I believe in you, or you would not be sitting in this class. You are managers and you are supervisors, but let me tell you what you are. You are a leader. And since you are a leader, it is up to you to be able to coach and mentor and identify and put good teams together so that you can be successful in your role, but not only in your role. But what you're going to do is you're going to impart, you're going to mentor, and you're going to bring up the next set of leaders. And I call that a 21st century global mindset to make sure that this company is a success, it's sustainable, and the culture lives. So let's talk a little bit. The PowerPoint was down, so what I did is I gave each one of you a PowerPoint presentation. What I want you to do is not go ahead of me, please. Just if you can just hold on and take time with me, that I will make sure that we get to every point in here. Because although I have it down pat on what we're going to actually talk about, what's really going to happen is we're going to let you guide the class. I've got some things that are for certain set in stone that we're going to talk about. But if something comes up, I want you to be comfortable enough to ask me questions so that we can address them right then. Because one of the ways I feel learning takes place is when we have that back and forth. And I want you to know, please ask questions. If I'm right in the middle of something, I might say, hold on and wait a minute. But what I will do, what I'm going to do is I will have you, we'll either write it down or I'll come right back to you. But I want you to be comfortable in this class because this is your class, this is your learning environment, and I want it to be a safe place for you. All right, just like I said, coaching and team building skills for supervisors and managers. But I'm going to call you leaders because that's who you are. All right, today class is supposed to run from 9 to 4 p.m. We will break for lunch. We will also break for, we'll have breaks that we will agree upon, and they can be 2 minutes, they can be 5 minutes. The longest I want them to be is 10 minutes because I have so much important information that I want to get to you. I would like to ask you if you would power your phones down or put them on silent if you're, if you're expecting something. I used to be a mother and I would continually keep my phone in my hand. It would be on silent, but because I was a mother with so many children, I would have it close to me. So if you will do that for me, I would appreciate that. The description of the course. Of course, we just heard it's coaching, it's team building skills for managers and supervisors, but what it also is hopefully will give you some information that you will be able to grab a hold of and to use it in your life skills. So that's what I'm really banking on today. The components of the course that we'll be teaching today is we're going to look at what a team is versus what a work group is. We're going to look at how a team can get great results. We're going to look at the ideal mix for your team, and we're going to look at some personality traits, and it's going to help you with how you communicate. Because when you're able to communicate with the person from where they stand, then it builds trust, it opens up more of a dialogue, what I call a generative communication, where people can be open and honest and transparent. And that's what we want to do. And then we want to look at characteristics of a top performing team. Okay, that's how it's going to look today. Do I have any questions so far? None? Okay, great. All right, transformational leadership. I'm actually Dr. Martin, and I did a PhD on transformational leaders. And I had such a passion about it. about leadership and the 21st century and where we are now and how to lead. And the way I understand your organization and the structure of your organization, it is vertical, but it's also horizontal. So I believe that a 21st century leader has got to be able to function up and down and across. And this is what some of the training and the learning that we're going to do today is all about. All right, so I have something I want to read to you. Here you go. All right, it's time that the organization begins to look at how to accomplish the changes to move forward into a 21st century global environment. As you already know, we are so global. The internet completely exploded, and all of a sudden we know what's going on in China. We've got FaceTime, we've got Skype. When my kids are across the country, I can talk to them right then and right now. So, you know, it's great that we have all this technology. An important component of being able to move in the direction, if you're not thinking globally, if you're thinking my four and no more in your team, no, but you need to think globally over the full expanse of the organization so that your piece of the pie can fit in there really good and you can be successful, all right? So one important component of being able to move in that direction is to ensure that your leaders have the mindset of the culture of your organization and always keep the objectives in their view of what you're trying to achieve. One of the things that is pertinent to today's leader is that you think, everything you do with the mindset of you may be moving on to other positions, but you want to bring someone behind you that can not take your place, but actually step into where you are and make it better. So that's the sustainability part that we're going to talk about. Some people call it transformational leadership. A transformational leader is a person who not only understands the difference between a team and a work group, but they can articulate it with ease and turn around and be a motivation to their followers, okay? They have the ability to read their group, to distinguish quickly what the personalities are that they're dealing with, and move the players into cohesive teams to get things accomplished. All right, one of the ways a leader is able to move with agility and purpose is to look at what is called co-creation. Co-creation is a process where you get all the stakeholders together and they have all the information, and through motivation and engagement, you're bringing them to a place of emotional buy-in. Once you have the emotional buy-in, then they take ownership in the project. They take ownership in the objective. If there's a change going on, they take ownership in that change. And that's what you want, because you want all the buy-in from the team members, because they will be committed to success. And once you have that commitment to success, there's nothing you can't do. So with that in mind, watch this. I was already ready for you. Here we go. All right. Transformational leaders. And I have a real passion for transformational leaders. I love transformational leaders, and I love talking about it because I think that there's nothing you can't accomplish once you have that goal in your mind, that I am a leader and I am transformation. I will make a difference. I will make an impact. You know, I can do this. So transformational leaders, what they do is, I said raise up new generation of 21st century leaders. So remember what I said just a few minutes ago. You're a mentor. You impart. You're not afraid to be transparent. And you really can you're not afraid to bring someone up next to you to teach them how to walk the walk and talk the talk. So you're raising up a new generation of 21st century leaders. Someone once told me to be a great leader is not how much you accomplish, but it's what you leave behind in your proteges. If they can take off running and go farther than you can and do greater things than you'll ever do, then you're a great leader. So you're raising up a generation of 21st century leaders. Then you want to ensure that your culture is sustainable. If You would not be working here, I'll bet you, and you tell me if I'm wrong, if you didn't believe in the beliefs, the values, and what they stand for in the marketplace. So that's the culture, how you do things, how you all sustain information, how you treat your employees, what your value and your belief system is in your mission statement, in your value statement. That's your culture. So what we want to do is we want to ensure there's a sustainable culture. And part of ensuring that there's a sustainable culture is to raise up the new generation of the leaders, right? And then we want to establish a co-creative environment. And I talked a little bit about that earlier. You want to establish a safe place where all stakeholders in your team feel important, they feel valued, they feel that what they have to say is worth something, and you get their buy-in from that, and their emotional buy-in, and everybody wants to be a success on that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a few minutes. You also want to create networks, co-creative networks. There's internal networks and there's external networks. So we're going to hit a little bit on that and talk about bringing all that together. So that's real good. I'm real excited about that. All right, we're going to move to, we're going to talk about building teams. The difference between a work group and a team. A work group is two or more individuals who are interdependent in their accomplishments, and they may or may not work in the same department, okay? So the difference between team and group is interesting. It's very subtle, but there is a difference, okay? Teams work together and they share in the outcome of a project, of an objective, all right? While a group is more independent of each other, all right? The words group and team, for the most part, are interchangeable. At least most people seem to use them that way. If you sit down and have a conversation with someone else, they may not know the difference between a work group and a team. By the time we leave here today, you're going to be well versed in team versus group, and we want to create teams, okay? The main difference is that a team's strength or their focus is on the commonality of the purpose and how the individuals are connected together. All right? A team is a collection of accomplished people who come together for a common goal or an objective that needs to be completed. A group is two or more individuals who are interdependent, and like we said, they may or may not work for the same department. You have a baseball team, and then you have a focus group. A work team, the leader acts as a facilitator, the members have an active participation in the discussions and the eventual outcome. The team members decide on the disbursement of work assignments according to their strengths and weaknesses. A work group, the leader dominates and controls the group. The leader is a parent and will conduct the meeting. The leader usually assigns the work to the members. Okay, that's the difference between work groups and work teams. Do we have any questions before we move on to the next phase? We do? Okay, great. What's the question over there?